Everybody's looking to take payouts, so I want to give you 5 steps that have worked for me in keeping it simple in order to get you on the path towards taking payouts. So take a look at step number 1 is going to be take less trades. I speak about it all the time on stream that just more trades does not equal more money. And even if it does in the short term, let's say this week you traded a lot and you caught a lot of winners, doing that consistently over the long term, you're probably just going to end up giving it right back and eventually end up right back at break even. So if you could take less trades, having confidence that you don't always need to be in the market, you don't need to catch all of every move or every move that possibly presents in the day, that actually putting less risk into the market and being exposed less is going to probably make you more money come at the end of the month, end of the week even, right? Because the more you trade, the more you're obviously putting your capital at risk, but also the more mental energy that you're using, that your decision making is going to get worse throughout the day, especially if you take on some losses. Even if you take on some wins, you're maybe going to even ride the overconfidence that could just very quickly spiral. I like to think of it as if you have 5 trades in the week, you're probably going to feel a lot fresher come Friday morning than someone who's 30 trades deep, didn't journal any of them, doesn't even remember the trades he took on Tuesday because he's been all over the place. If you could just keep it simple, you feel fresh, you feel fine, you've been following your process, there wasn't even much to do, that you're probably going to trade better because you're feeling good. Where when you're taking a lot of trades, a lot of good, a lot of bad, you just feel anxious, you feel stressed, you feel drained really and exhausted, that how long can you even keep that up, that it's really just going to keep you not gaining any momentum. Another one is going to be handle loss as well. I mean, that just goes for anything, whether you're taking payouts, trading personal, looking to just start learning how to trade, you need to learn how to handle loss as well because they're not going anywhere. That the more you can just take trades that fit your setup, when you know you have a good setup, when you take those losses, it really shouldn't hit your ego, right? A lot of people take losses too personally or they weigh them too significantly of, I took a loss, I did something wrong, that was a bad trade, I shouldn't have been in that. Now I'm never going to take that payout, I'm losing progress, I took a step backwards, all this negative thinking. But the loss is just a loss. It's a calculated risk. We put on the risk that we were willing to lose, and we took a loss. As long as we could sleep at night knowing that the trade I did lose, though, was a good one and I should have been in it, that's all that matters. I can't control if this next one's going to win or lose. I can only control the setups I decide to get into. So if you know you should have been in it and it loses, it really shouldn't be a hit to your ego or even just a negative thought, because if that were to win, you would have wanted to be in that. And you know, over the next 100 trades, let's say you have a 65% win rate, 70% win rate even, over the next 100 trades, you're going to take 30 losses. This is just one of those 30 if you did your job correctly, right? To think that you're just never going to lose and that you analyzed everything so perfectly, how could that have lost? Because good setups still lose. Bad setups lose even more. So learn how to handle losses, no big red days. Another thing that can go tied to that of handling losses well, if you can't handle losses well, you definitely want to work on that. But the beautiful thing about trading with Top 1 on the ProjectX platform, you could set in a max daily loss. I have a YouTube tutorial on that of how to set that up, also how to set up the copy trade. That if you set in a max daily loss, it's physically impossible to lose your entire account or even a big chunk of your profits all in one day, because you're setting in these guardrails for yourself that if you do take a loss and you're not handling it well, even if you do go on tilt and you take a next bad trade, the damage is going to cut you out whatever you set it at, let's say $500. So even though mentally you're wanting to keep on trading, you're having bad thoughts of taking stupid setups, oversizing, overtrading, whatever, the computer's just going to tell you, well, you're done. You've traded too much, you've lost too much today, come back tomorrow and just survive to live another day. So if you can't handle losses well, you definitely want to work on that. But for the time being, there is a little bit of a cheat code, I guess you'd say, that it's going to help you have to handle it because it's going to lock you out for the rest of the trading day. Looking at this setup here, this is a textbook Futures 2.0 setup, which I teach on ASFX TV, where it's a clean break for a new high a day, retest to that New York view up here in black, and the buyers are stepping in on this break of high a day view up in purple. Let's go continue the trend higher. It's been higher highs and higher lows since the open. It's looking nice and bullish. Gives you about 2-3 minutes of push for even a new high a day, but couldn't sustain, and we take the loss. But what did I do wrong? Why was I in that trade? I mean, now I want to go short, but it's just a loss. I should have been in that move, because you always got to think about if this were to move for a new high a day and 1R, 2R, whatever, and I'm not in it, how am I going to defend myself of why I wasn't in it? Because there's nothing wrong with it. Sure, maybe something could have been better on the 15-minute, a VWAP, maybe this pin back here, whatever. But it's a solid trade. I need to be involved in that with some sort of risk because those play out well over the long term. And you take it the next day. new high day, pull back to New York, VWAP, break of the purple high day, and that one wins. All right, so I know this setup's going to lose, and I take it consistently that the one previous is just the loss. I take it again the next day, that one's the winner. They're not all going to win, obviously. So if you know that you should have been in the setup and it loses, you should be able to handle this very well because you know you did your job, you didn't over risk, you gave it the proper stop loss, you got in when it was telling you to, you did your job. You managed risk and you got involved in the game. You do it again over the long term, you're going to make money as long as you don't have big red days, start taking different types of setups, strategy hopping, fighting the trend, whatever. All right, let's go to the next one. A different one I threw in there, copy trading. Now, it may not be for everybody, also depending on where you're at in your trading, but I think copy trading could really help a lot of traders try to take a payout because, face it, a lot of them have wild expectations on how quickly they could build a P&L or even just how much money they should make on any given day. So if you could reduce those expectations by maybe going to copy trading to make enough money in a day to satisfy you and get you off the charts and not overtrade, you can make small P&Ls to each account, right? Let's just make it up $100 an account. That's not enough. If you won $100 in the morning, you're probably going to keep on trading because that's not going to satisfy you, right? But if you can make $100, same thing like you were going to make it this morning, but to 5 accounts, you really actually had a $500 day. Maybe when you hear a $500 day, that's enough to get you off the charts and quit trading for the day. You can even risk it up even more because that's on the low side. Even if you make $500 a trade, to 5 accounts, you made $2,500 today, right? If we do that over a week, over a month, we'll build a nice, healthy, beautiful P&L that, why is that not enough money? But if you just did it to one account, it just doesn't satisfy a lot of people. But I think if you could slow it down by knowing also, I'm on copy trading. So this trade I decide to take is going to go to 5 accounts right now. I don't want to waste my ammo on this type of setup because it's not worth it to go to all of my accounts. But if I know I'm trading to 5 accounts, I'm going to be extra picky, knowing that I may not shoot too many times today. I'm going to maybe take 2 trades, so I don't want to waste it on this. I'm going to wait, preserve my capital, and wait for my moment to strike. So if you're not on copy trading, definitely try it out. It's also super easy on the ProjectX platform, like I mentioned, with Top 1. Same thing with the Max Day Loss tutorial. You can also find that on this channel. But I think just definitely try out the copy trading because you could help build a bigger P&L quicker by still just taking less trades, right? 1 trade is really 3 trades, 5 trades, depending on how many accounts you have it copied to. The last one, or maybe the second last, know your best setup. None of this is relevant if you don't know what your best setup is. We went over the markup a couple minutes ago. If you don't know what your best setup is, then when you do take a loss, how can you not question yourself or get beat up about it because you don't, I guess, know if you should have been in it. But if your confidence in your strategy is at an all-time high because you've been back testing it, you've been doing markups of it, you're journaling it, you're playing it live in the market, that when you know this setup works and you actually have true confidence in it, you're going to be able to handle those losses well because you know you should be involved with it. This is the best path to keep you online, that this is the best setup that you should be in. But when you don't know your best setup, then you're just going to be jumping around, over-risking, chasing markets, chasing every type of move that possibly presents today. But by knowing your best setup, you could slow yourself down, also because you're on the copy trading, right? It all ties together. When you know your best setup, you copy it to multiple accounts, you trade less, and you'll be able to take payouts. Hinting at all these steps we went over here. Handling losses well, taking less trades because we're taking less, but to more accounts, and then we're only going to take my best setup. Make sense? And now the last one. Hold yourself accountable because none of this is really going to change if you don't hold yourself accountable. There's so many people that come to me a few days later telling me they blew an account, they overtraded on a Thursday, they did whatever, but it's gone. It happened 2 days ago. Hold yourself accountable in the moment the best you can. I know it's hard to when you're wrapped up in the till, you don't even know what's going on. But if you have a group around you, or even just somebody, one person, to hold yourself accountable of the actions you had today, maybe you said you were going to journal your trades, you haven't done that, just find someone to keep you a little bit more professional. Obviously, you could reach out to me and talk to me on stream. I'm live every morning on ASFX TV. But if you hold yourself accountable, someone can maybe talk you off that ledge of taking that next trade that you know you shouldn't be in, or you said you were going to, like I said, do markups to try to figure out what your best setup is, get a little bit more confidence in it, but you haven't been doing it. And no one's going to know because you're by yourself. But if you're around a group, it's really just going to elevate you. You're going to want to be better because you know they're watching you and they're also getting better around you. And ego or not, you don't really want them to pass you. So you're going to want to keep up with the crowd, I guess I would say. So find someone to hold you accountable, keep you online of what you should be fixing, what you're doing really well. And it's also just, it's a less lonely game, right? If you're having a partner or somebody that you could talk to about trading, about how your trading's going, it's going to be, I guess, a little bit more fun rather than just keeping it all yourself on the negative days, the red days, the days you're questioning yourself. When you're just left on your own, very unhealthy and very unmotivating, I guess I would say too. So to wrap it up, I just want to say, like I said, to hold yourself accountable. I'm live every morning at AceFX TV. I also teach my course on their Futures 2.0, which is going to teach you what your best setup is going to be if that's the one you want to adopt. But always feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Join the streams. You can get 50% off your first month if you just use my name at checkout. So hopefully I'll see you on there next week. But like I said, once you get access to the streams, you also get access to 2 courses. And if you missed the live streams, you can tune in and find the trade replays of them for 2-3 hours, right? We have me, James, Zach. We have guests coming on almost every day. So definitely tune into that. Hold yourself a little bit more accountable. Learn the strategy a little bit more. Ask questions. And let's get you on that path to taking some payouts, all right? So hopefully you guys found value in it. Feel free to reach out, like I said. But trade safe, trade smart. I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.